Hello, my name is Alison Tieman, and I'm the founder of Honey Badger Brigade. This video is entitled The Silver Pill. I hope you enjoy this content. Once again, we're going back to court July 4th, 5th, and 6th of this year to try and bring the Calgary Comics and Entertainment Expo and the Mary Sue to justice. For those of you who don't know what's going on, here are the cliff notes. I'm currently suing the Calgary Expo for breach of contract and the Mary Sue for injurious falsehood. I was evicted from the Calgary Comics and Entertainment Expo, put on by the Calgary Expo in April of 2015. The justification for my eviction, put forward by the Calgary Expo, was that I breached my contract by harassing panelists at a panel titled Women into Comics. A review of the audio reveals that I requested to speak to a topic the panelists brought up, and when the panelists wished to move on to other audience members, I and my friend attending with me, Sage Gerard, complied. At all times, the panelists were in full control of the panel. After the eviction, the Mary Sue published an article saying I was not just evicted due to harassing behavior at the panel, but also lied on my contract by misrepresenting myself, so that the Calgary Expo couldn't have known I would be attending under the company name, Honey Badger Brigade. This allegation is provably false. In fact, the defense itself submitted evidence that the Mary Sue's allegation is false in the form of my contract with them that clearly states my company name as Honey Badger Brigade and my website as HoneyBadgerBrigade.com. This has been a 3-year ordeal for me. Legal lawfare by the defendants has led to continual delays and postponements. After 2 days of my direct testimony at trial, the defendants offered to settle, but during the course of the settlement decided to threaten me with a defamation lawsuit over my producer, Brian Martinez, tweeting out, "We won," in response to their offer to settle. So far, nothing has come of their threat to sue me for defamation, but who knows? Maybe they're going to serve me the papers at trial for extra intimidation points. It's becoming increasingly obvious the only way I'm getting these people out of my life is to submit to judgment. That's not a fun process. Imagine going up to a girl you like and asking her out on a date. Submitting yourself to the judgment of the court is like that, except the girl is 2.5 millennia long legal history of Western society. Anyway, the original trial date was likely to be February of next year, but the judge graciously gave up his own vacation time to fast-track it, and it's now July of this year. Unfortunately, that puts us in a bit of a bind with the International Conference of Men's Issues in London this year, as that conference is also in July. So after this fundraiser to raise costs to bring witnesses in, I'm going to have to put on another fundraiser to raise travel costs for myself, Karen, Hannah, Brian, and Jonathan to attend the ICMI. 2 of us are speaking, and the rest are helping to provide coverage and man a badger table. So essentially, we're putting on a fundraiser to help cover the costs of the ICMI itself. There's some positive out of all of this. I learned from the operations manager at the Calgary Expo that he's changed how he approaches dealing with claims of harassment. Instead of just booting people as a result of an allegation, he brings all parties into a room and has them hash it out. In other words, he pursues a real investigation now. In addition, a friend of mine in Calgary has told me that the costumes are not consent and zero tolerance signs are down. So we have had an effect on the Calgary Expo's behavior already. Sometimes it's not about winning or losing. It's about the fact that you fight. In fact, sometimes it's about making the other side's wins so painful that they never want to win like that again. Regardless of the outcome, we have changed one convention for the better. Regardless of the outcome, the evidence and the history of our fight against Calgary Expo and the Mary Sue's moral overreach will be entered into the legal record for all to see. I want to show you something. This is the Wikipedia page for the Calgary Expo. Notice what isn't there under controversies. You would think that if they truly believed that they were on the side of the angels when it comes to this lawsuit, They'd have it right out front and center as evidence of how the horrible Nazis are trying to take down the good people with these laws, these chauvinistic laws of the patriarchy. But no, they don't want anyone to see it at all. Our political rumble mates want this entire situation to disappear. They don't want a judgment, no matter what the judgment is. As one commentator said in response to our last push to raise legal fees, no matter what the outcome is, the edit wars on Wikipedia would be a sight to behold. Once this is in the legal record, Wikipedia will no longer be able to say it doesn't meet their notability standard, and people will be able to see my evidence and judge it on its merits. So if you want to see truth will out, please support our lawsuit at www.feedthebadger.com. The I here will take you directly to the legal fundraiser. The last time I asked you to think about supporting Honey Badger Radio, I told you all that if you would prefer to support someone else, please support the Canadian Association for Equality's 2018 National Conference, being held June 9th to this year in Calgary. At the time I asked you to support the conference, it was about to be cancelled for lack of ticket sales. I'm happy to report, as a result of the Honey Badger Radio's promotion, Cafe has the funds and ticket sales necessary for the convention to be held as planned. And I will be in attendance. So if you want to take part, please do come and say hi. I said our generous community would be able to save the event from being cancelled, and I was right. You never fail to amaze me. That's an example of what I'm trying to accomplish here at Honey Badger Radio, creating a community of people motivated to deal with these issues and fight for them to be heard. A community of people who are ready to put their shoulder to the hard work of making sure helplines stay open, conferences don't get cancelled, and legal challenges can be met. I took the black pill years ago. If the red pill is the pill of enlightenment, the blue pill is the pill of delusion, the black pill is the pill of despair. The negative-sum game was my black pill. The negative-sum game is the fact that when there are 50 female victims of an issue, we care. But if there are also 50 male victims, we don't double our compassion or even have it. We lose it entirely and stop caring about all victims of the issue, including the female victims. The black pill is realizing you can't save yourself from your specific circumstance, and neither can anyone else. When you take that black pill, you realize there is no sense in the world around you. The people you regard as powerful are deluded and have no solutions. The black pill happens when you recognize the enormity of the situation, but still want to be saved by the people you perceive have power. It's when you've allowed these issues to make you feel powerless. The negative-sum game made me realize there is no one out there who can help. The solution cannot come from academia, media, or government, because, quite simply, the negative-sum game is why they have their power in the first place. They can't challenge it without deconstructing themselves and destroying their power base. But the black pill opens up an opportunity. It opens the way to the silver pill. You can separate society into two groups of people. Those people who think that if they ignore men's issues and the effect they have on our social fabric, then men's issues just cease to exist. Men locked in this delusion say to themselves, if I acknowledge these hurts, harms, and injustices done to men, I'll become a victim. And their delusional female counterparts say, if I acknowledge these hurts, harms, and injustices done to men, I'll no longer be a victim. Over 9/10 of our society is engaged in a fantasy that wishing something will make it so. The biggest delusion of all is that men's issues only affect people in the men's rights movement. Nope. They affect everyone. Everyone is suffering these issues. And that suffering is only going to get worse. It will get worse as the regressive stack wood chippers its way through society, destroying our system of law, the integrity of our academic and media institutions, and empowering increasingly draconian governments and corporations. And not just that, its final victim will be the trust we need to keep our systems of cooperation running. Well, here's the silver pill. No one at all in the men's issues community is a victim of men's issues. Even if you were raped as a boy by your babysitter, or you were beaten by your wife and arrested by the police when you tried to escape, or you lost your children, you are not a victim of these issues. Everyone else in society is. There are two ways that an injustice makes us victims. The first way an injustice makes us a victim is when we ignore it in favor of escaping into a fantasy that the injustice simply doesn't exist. Recognizing how you have been harmed, hurt, or have suffered an injustice doesn't make you a victim. In fact, not recognizing such a thing when it manifestly exists makes you a perpetual victim, not just of the injustice, but your own delusions. Recognizing how you have been harmed, hurt, or have suffered an injustice, and saying that because the injustice exists, you are powerless. That is what makes you a victim. When I ask you the question I do, the question I always ask, if you believe in these issues, you believe these issues are important, and you believe in what Honey Badger Radio can accomplish and has, why don't you support? In response, sometimes people tell me that they think Honey Badger Radio should do something completely different, and that's why they don't support. Sometimes they tell me the question is exploitative and manipulative. Sometimes they tell me Honey Badger Radio is awful. And sometimes the people I'm addressing to the question to actually answer it. They think that these issues matter. They believe in what Honey Badger Radio does, but they don't support because they don't feel like they can make a difference. These issues have made them feel powerless. The silver pill is when you can bear witness to these issues and remain ready to fight back. Remain motivated. That's the solution to the negative-sum game. The silver pill stops asking, how can I be saved? And starts saying, how can I save? How can I save myself? And if I can't save myself, how can I save others? You might not be able to get your innocence back, or the years you spent with a hateful woman, or your kids back. A single man can't defeat all the issues facing men as a whole. But you can contribute to a community that's growing in its ability to fight back. This community that I've built, Hannah has built, Karen has built, we've all built together. This community has fought a lawsuit against 2 corporations. We have, with Gamergate's help, taken a helpline from the brink of shutting down to being funded for years in the future. We have built a studio space. We have helped fund a men's shelter. We have saved a convention from being canceled. 5 years ago, we didn't have the ability to do these things. Now we do. What will we be able to do in 10 years? 25, 50. Project that into the future. The truth is that if there is a solution to men's issues, it's not going to come from the men and women who can't even look at them. It's not going to come from the victims of men's issues. It's not going to come from anyone outside the men's issues community. It's not going to come from them. They're not going to save us. We are going to save them, because we are not victims of men's issues. They are. Even if you're listening to me now and you haven't fought back yet, when I ask you, if you agree these issues matter and believe Honey Badger Radio can make a difference, why don't you support? And you say to yourself, I don't believe that I can make a difference. I know you will. I know you will decide to fight back. I know one day I'll say the right set of words that will make you believe in yourself, and you will support us. Or you'll support Cafe, or you'll support Mankind UK. That's the silver pill. Recognizing that if you can face men's issues and still fight, you're not a victim of them. Take the silver pill. Take despair, turn it into wisdom. Take wisdom and turn it into action. Fight back, and help us fight back. If you want to help us fight back against the Calgary Expo and the Mary Sue, you can do so here at www.feedthebadger.com. Cafe has generously donated 5 of its tickets to help our fundraiser, so if you're interested in getting a small discount, please go to feedthebadger.com and select the featured legal fundraiser. If you want to help us fight back month to month, you can do so here, www.patreon.com/HoneyBadgerRadio. Take the silver pill. Thank you.